O, diba? Uy, nakakaloka, mga palangabanghitan. Uy, kumusta na kayo si ano? Char. Si ano? Si Sharon Cogeta. Okay. Ako rin yung mga terms para lang siya mga humor-humor ba. Pero wala pa pasabot si Sharon Cogeta gid nga tinuod. Charot. Okay? You got the point. Anak siya. Char. Okay. So now we will discuss a little bit with the common. I need to tabulate. Our topic for today is safety standards, understanding. Charot. International safety standards understanding based on occupational safety and health standards, USA. Okay, USA lang ta. Okay, because you know it's very widely acceptable globally. Things like that. Okay? So forget about Australia, New Zealand, UK, like that. Only US of A or USA. The point? Ganon. So we have here. So I will tabulate by my hand. By my hand. Okay, things like this. Okay. So we have here. So what are the two types of standards of OSHA? Anybody can answer? Two types. Actually, there are, I think, wait, 6 to 5 types, but the specific lang talaga siya that's widely used. Okay? Because the others are not widely used. Only the more widely used two types of specific standards in OSHA. So we have, wait mo ka lang ha, charot. Ako na ba, STD, meaning standard, but this is not sexually transmitted disease. Okay, this is standard, the abbreviation. Acronym and abbreviation is not the same. Abbreviation is you have to cut off, okay, the letters. But acronyming is the first word letter will be written. But STD here is really standard, not sexually transmitted disease. You get the point. Okay. Basig mo yung STD rate? Ganon! Sa katong mga bigaon tayo. Okay, so, hindi siya STD nga mga katong sakit. This is standard. Okay, OSHA standard. Okay, yung interpretation na nila ay good. Okay, with that point, polarized minds. Polarized. Polarity. Law of polarity. Sarap. Law of polarity, meaning to say an equal sharing of electrons with dogs. Ganon. Loss of electrons, gain of electrons, natatalo kay lahat. Okay. Mabuhay na ko guys, so electrons ang akong kuyot na yung kalibutan na. Electrons, protons, pwede na. Char! Nakakaloka naman ganun. Okay, two types. Okay. Kung ano siya guys, bumaragin siya guys ha? General industry and we have construction industry. Okay. Like this. So if you try to work both, whether in construction or general, then you have to take the training of OSHA with regards to the overall. Because there's also training on 8 hours general industry OSHA, 8 hours construction industry OSHA, and there is also OSHA training for entry level. And this is OSHA professional training, katong 5 days. Diba? OSHA professional certification. Okay. Muna siya. So, depende sa imong session that you're trying to negotiate with to the external training center. Right? Things like that. Or, basis sa imong own study. Because you can also have your own study. It's not only external training center because the issue is the payment for that. Okay? Like that. For example, if there are people that have already a lot of credentials and only for further exposure to the other newest standards, then you don't have also to be trained because that would be enough already. Then you go to research, expand more because learning, it doesn't need to be costly. You get the point? Because it is accessible in the newest technology, in the WWW, meaning World Wide Web. www.worldwideweb.com. Ganon. Com is, I think that's communication, right? World Wide Web communication. Com is the abbreviation of communication, but I'm not really that sure. That's what I interpreted in my brain cells. Okay, so anybody from information technology that could affirm and approve that that is really communication, because in our email ad, whether it is personal ad or company ad, we will put com, right? That com. What is that com all about? So learning is gonna be like that. It's not enough that we will keep on applying shortcut things if we cannot understand. We need to understand really why that words are being curtailed. Curtailed meaning it's being reduced or minimized from out of 6 letters word, and then it become only 3. Just like communication, it will become com. Like that, it's an example only. Okay, what is that all about in my email? And you have to scrutinize one by one. So that would add also knowledge to you in that little ways of learning. You get the point? So that would be the process you have to go through in basic learning. Anything that you see in your eyes that you cannot understand, you have to question your mind. What is that all about? And then you have to research. You'll never stop. Research it. You don't want to let it pass. Okay? Because this is the attitude of those people who keep on passing certain examinations. Really, by my experience. Okay? Wide reader, you always read. That's number 1. Number 2, you always scrutinize if you cannot understand terms and formulas you encountered in the book, in the notes, in the magazine, in the newspapers, in your computer, in the folder file that you cannot understand because there automatically comes in by default, right? You need to, what's this all about? You have to research that by using Webster Dictionary or whatever. Do not let it pass. Okay. So in that way, this is the quality of being observant. A quality, an important quality of being a scientist is to be observant. You get the point? To be observant is a sign of intellectual people or smart people. Okay, because it starts with the common senses, the eyes, the ears, the way how we felt, deep or outside, emotions and touch and everything. Okay, that's what I mean, right? Okay, too much talking. Okay, it's gonna be like that. So general industry and construction industry. Now, we designate a part number. Well, part number. So part number. Ganon. Okay. And we have also the part number title. Okay, take note how specific this is OSHA, meaning Occupational Safety and Health Administration, not association. Because some of the professionals also and some would interpret association as an administration, administration also as an association. So you need to be extra careful what it is specifically all about because it is acronyming. Acronyming is highly specific. You get the point, it's not general in nature or general effect. Okay, in your understanding. You got the point. So we need to know the specific part number declaration between general industry and construction industry based on our OSHA standards. Okay, so part number declaration on general industry is 1910. Okay, if you see this numbers 1,910, it will come in your mind, that is general industry. Then we cannot apply that for construction industry. But take note, really, but the generalities you can still apply. Okay, but you need to troubleshoot and extract the applicability of the specific standard because you should not rumble that. Because if you not to rumble that, the problem, it creates confusion. What standard you are really basing with, and it will not agree. If you base the standard, it isn't applicable to the other one. So your point of argumentation will never end. You should meet to a certain point that you agree really what standard you are using. Things like that. For clear communication and understanding. Things like that. Now we have the second one. We have the construction industry. We have 1926. If you see 1926 also in different documentations, for example, a safety procedure or a safety program that you encountered in the website, things like that. Okay, to those people who are loving going to the website. So you have only to remember the 1926 and 1910. If the 1926 is for construction, okay, so you don't need to apply always the 1926 to general industries such as the operations, manufacturing, aviation, metallurgical, semiconductor, things like that, or business firms, companies that have also safety department. Because all over the world, all types of employers have already established each own separate safety department. Okay, because the standard is keep on increasing. Okay, as the technology is also increasing or is already upgraded nowadays. Get the point? Or things like that. Okay, now, so we need to establish here in our discussion what are the scope of works that are too popular in nature. Popular means widely used all over the world. Get the point? So at least we can enumerate 6, right? We don't need to go to too much, because these are all just the same in explanation. I'm not telling the same in the numbers, in explanation. Okay, you get the point. So it's gonna be like, for example, you are using the, let's say, for example, mga palanggatang hitad. Okay, it's gonna be the confined space. Confined space. Like that. Sorry! Sakit ang dila ni Junjun. Lulu Junjun. Okay. Confined space works. Okay. Or, because I said confined space entry work. Maurag yun na siya, guys. Kunti pa nindot lang yun. Diba? Okay. Confined space work or confined space entry scope of works. Maurag yun na siya, guys. Diba? Okay. Now we have also the working at height or the full protection scope of work that involves full protection system. Mga ganun sa chuba-chuchu. Okay, get the point. Ganon. So, we have lifting operation or crane operation. It could be done by a mobile crane, an overhead crane, let us say the tower crane, especially in the shipyard type of works, in the in the port, seaport, or let's say in the airport or whatever, right? Things like that. We have also the crane operations. Lifting or crane operations is the same, huh? But I will put generic lifting operations, meaning a lot of equipment will be used here, not limited to crane only. You get the point? Okay. Elevator is also here included because they lift the people in going up and down. That's also part of lifting. But they lift the people instead of materials, but it's still under here because here is general lifting. It doesn't specify whether materials, tools, people to be lifted up. Okay, that's why lifting operations for diverse definition. Ganon. Okay, we have also excavation. Nakakala. Kami ng mga kapatid kumilitad, excavation. Okay, diba? We love excavation. Who wants to love excavation? I don't love excavation because maybe I will fall. I'll keep on walking into the road. And there's an excavated area. So I don't love excavation. Charot lang. Okay, you get the point. Excavation. Okay. Parang medyo ko yung masulti. Diba? Excavation. Para-paraan. Okay, you get the point. And then, we have also the hat work, the favorite of the maintenance team. Hat work operation. Okay. You get the point. Okay, lima na ba siya mga kalaman? Yes, lima na din siya. No. But there's a lot. Okay, for example, handling and hazardous of chemicals, working in a live lines, in the electrical post, So they need also to implement to lock out and tag out isolation. There's a lot. These are only explanation examples because it will take a lengthy discussion. Okay, if I will include the others. Kanina siya mga basic chuba-chucho, right? Okay, ganon. Okay, now, in this 5 scope of works, what did you notice? You will think in your brain cells, is this scope of work really applicable to both? If it is applicable to both, and that's the time you will use could either the generalities between the two. You can apply both. But if it is not applicable to the other, then go to the specific standard for that particular. Things like that. For example, lifting operation. Example only. Okay. Lifting operation also, the construction will use the crane. And manufacturing also will use the crane. There's a commonalities, right? So, OSHA said if there's commonalities among the two industries, they can use either, okay, as long as it's still connected to the parent specific legislation and standard. Okay, that's why lifting operation in OSHA standard is only one. There's no for construction. There's no for industry. But that is for all. Okay? So that is 29, but they represent the general industry because general, not the construction. In OSHA also, they use the general industry always, not applicable to all, not the construction. Okay? If the case like this can be used, both, apply both, like that, blah, 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 so and so. Imucho muna, okay, ganon. Okay, nakakaloka. Okay, ganon siya. Lifting operation 29 Code of Federal Regulation. Okay, anak na yun siya. Then 1910-1417. So this is the lifting operation standards and legislation by OSHA that could be used both general industry and construction industry. Okay, because there's no specific for 1926 for this. Get the point? Ganon siya mga palangga kung hitad. Okay, now, for excavation, if your company is operational now, you cannot excavate, di ba? Pare-pareho lang siya sa construction. It's just the same also with the construction industry. So, only one standard also in OSHA for excavation for both general industry and construction, that is 29 CFR, okay, 910-26651. Okay, they represent also the construction because excavation is more on the construction, not on the manufacturing operation. Because their company are already stabilized and they keep on excavating. No, it's not. Excavating a lot is more happening in the construction stage. Okay, because they need to put foundations like that of the building structures, things like that, and the foundations also with the pipelines or vessels or equipment. You have also to excavate a little bit in the ground, things like that. Okay, so that's why they use also the 29 CFR 1926.651 here. Okay, common to both general and construction. Now, how about the confined space? Confined space working at height. Are they common to each other? Muna yung unang pangutanong, are they common with each other, both these industries? Not. Because in manufacturing, their vessels are in operation. Work equipment, process equipment are in operation. In construction, is dead. It's not yet working. There's no adjustment with the operating conditions parameters, the temperature, the pressure, the humidity, the volume, or there's no such adjustment with the substances inside with the confined space. But for the manufacturer, it's already having the volume of the water there. So, you know, your risk will be higher. Things like that because there's already substance inside. Maybe it will explode later on. That's why we have a specific confined space standard for general industry and for construction industry. You get the point? Because it's not the same and it's not common. You get the point? So, separate na siya. And what is the specific standard for general industry? For this mga palangga kong hitad. You get the point? So, atong hisgutan. Okay, now, for construction confined space work entry, We have 29 CFR 1926146. But for general industry, for operation, manufacturing, blah, 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 so and so, we have 29 CFR 1910-1203. So different na siya. You get the point for the confined space entry. Because of the vessels are not the same, at the same time, it's already working and functional and operational. But this construction is dead. It's not yet working. The difference is very clear. Okay. You get the point? Ganon. Okay. Now, the accidents there in the construction is more related to the actions of the people and the conditions involved. But for the operation, it's more on the process involved already. How it will be going to the process. Maybe the volume is very high, it will burst like this. Maybe the hazardous substance there is very flammable, it will create a fire. Maybe it will cause explosion because you put a very high explosion rate of your chemicals and during your assessment you did not do well. Things like that. So it's the process safety matters there already in the confined space, not already the people because it's already functioning, basing the operating conditions and parameters already. But in construction, it's the people, how they erect this part of the confined space, and they will go inside and they will make like this, blah, blah, blah. Going not inside the confined space, but in the operation, it's no longer like that. It's the process parameters, temperature, pressure, more on the technical theories in the chemistry or physics. Things like that, you get the point. But in the construction, people lang siya, anak-anak lang siya, ang action na din sa mga tao, sa iba yung pagkabuhat, siya murag elementary level pa kayo yung mga pagsabot. But there is a process where grabe na siya na yung mga process chemistry, gano'n. Inside with the work equipment, vessel, tank, or whatever. That would be dangerous because it will explode massive for the process. Okay, that's the point that, like that, it will pataka na butang o chemicals inside the tank. Dili naman na siya may tungkol sa tao. It's in the process na naman na talaga siya. Okay, you got the point? So, grabe siya, deadly siya ang confined space sa manufacturing o sa operation compared to the construction industry. Kaya sa industry, kaya sa usa may mamatay dito. Magwilding-wilding na siya dito, siya usa, or duha ba rin sila. But, ang tank is already under process. If it will explode, a lot will die. You get the point? So, higher level risks confined space entry in the manufacturing and the operation, especially if your product are flammable chemicals, hazardous chemicals, and radioactive chemicals, things like this, or highly explosive chemicals you produce somewhere along the way in your process. Get the point? Okay, so different ha. General industry OSHA standards 29 CFR 1910.146. Wala siya. Okay, and construction 29 CFR 1926.1203 in terms of confined space. Now, if we go now to the, let's say, working at height. Okay, here also, this is reverse. The construction industry has more and critical hazards compared to the manufacturing. Why? Because, ako lang sa answer, because in manufacturing operational, all the work platforms are permanent already. There is a guardrail, there's a grading platform, but in construction, they have still to erect that one. And they need scaffolds to do that. So, meaning to say, highly critical compared to manufacturing in terms of working at height. And our fall protection system is very, very high in construction industry compared to general industry. But there are also commonalities there somewhere along the way of the standards, not standards, for the requirements to follow. Okay, the tools to follow, the equipments to follow, materials to follow, meaning you need to use to make your job successful, right? Para-paraan ko, no? Nakaloka. Nakaloka. May mo ko sa kong self. Okay, get the point. Get the point sa muna siya. So, working atin mga palangga, akong hitag. Chart. Okay. Okay. So working at height, OSHA putting that as working above, let's say 1.8 meters high, 2 meters high, like that. To avoid confusion, generally, we need to wear the full rubber body above 1.8. But to be more specific, we need to give distinction. Distinction meaning difference or differentiation, meaning the other is different from the other. That is distinction. Because sometimes distinction also used as a reward. Okay? It depends on the sentence you are using. Okay? If I was saying, June is distinct compared to Romel. Example only, Romel is a guy. And then, me is distinct. I'm not the same with him. Okay? That is distinct. D-I-S-T-I-N-C. So, to establish distinction between Romel and June, I need to describe them physically. So that I can say, this is Romel, this is June, especially if you do Marites. You don't know Romel and you don't know also June. I need to describe the two physically so that I can understand these people, who are they? Maybe I meet them every day, things like that. You get the point. This is distinction, okay, or difference between the two. Another sentence also, you will use that valedictorian, June, like that. That is a reward. That is also distinction. Reward. So that's why it's called distinction, because you are distinct from others to those who did not get the reward. Okay, so there are two utilization in English language for that. Be careful. It depends on the sentence you are referring to. But here it is obvious that I am differentiating between general and construction. But still, it is a right grammar to use distinction here, not the reward thing. Okay, the clarity is now very, very clear. Well, the clarity now is very, very clear. Sure, I will revise. The clarity now is very, very obvious. The clarity now is very, very transparent. Things like her. You get the point? So just not to repeat. Because in English kasi guys, in reporting, you should avoid repetition of words. That's the golden rule in reporting or making an articles or making an editorial headline to a newspaper, whatever. Especially this is being discussed in journalism. Okay, you don't need to repeat the same words always. It should be acceptable only twice, but other than that, never. Use another term for that. Okay? Or you can use the ownership, its, and its, like that. Ownership, third personal pronoun. Okay? It is referring to ano na siya, object. Okay? Yeah. For example, them referring to people. But sometimes them also can be used also in objects. Like, it depends on the situation how you describe that one. Because I'm not an English instructor. I just love English, that's why. Okay, you get the point? Because I want to be, my first really dream profession is to become mass communication major in broadcast journalism, not really to become an engineer. Sorry. Okay, and again, it's not found in my scholarship, in my academic scholarship. That's why I forced myself to engineering because I love chemistry. I love science. And second choice ang siya. Okay, you get the point, but I have no choice. There's no other, or else I cannot study because we are belong to the poverty. My parents cannot educate me in college. You get the point? Ganon. So things like that. Okay. Now, going back to the working at height. Okay. So OSHA said specifically, oh my gosh, we need to distinguish this. So this sila magkayamukat. You get the point? So they have guidance where to follow. Things like for dog, in terms of the compliance. Okay. Anak dayon. Okay, ako yung papasok sila ito. Humanang tayo i-ibigay yun na. Okay. We go to the working at like mga talaga kong hitan. Okay. I emphasize working at height because all over the world, this is the highest cause of accidents. Working at height, especially falling from the rooftop to the ground level, or from the top going to the ground level. And I think the second one is motor vehicular accidents, based on statistics all over the world. But also you can research that also by yourself. Okay, that's what I read. Okay, working at height on the top. This is the most accidents happening. Okay, too much, especially in construction industry. Get the point? Ganon. Second lang ang motor vehicular accident all over the world. But you need also to parallel my statement now because it depends also on the source. Okay, I got her in that particular time. Okay, you get the point. Basta nabasa na ako siya. Okay, you get the point. So, working at height. So, working at height, guys, we have mag-add ako mga industry, hindi lang siya nangana. We add number 3. So, we have shipyard industry. What are these shipyard industry? These are industry that are working in the port, P-O-R-T, in the seaport, in the airport. These are the people working there. The aviation, like that. Aviation meaning paliparan, things like that. Sa mga, boat scheduling. You know what I mean, right? A ship. Ship is a big version of a boat. Right? You get the point? Boat can be made of a wood, but ship is made of metallic material. It's not wood. There's no ship made of wood, or else that is a boat. You get the point? You get the point? Things like that. That is shipyard job. Okay, what else? We have also the maritime. The maritime is different, or the marine. Okay, because this is referring to the sea, working in the sea, not on the port. Okay, somewhere along the way in the sea na talaga siya. Let's say the navigation, like that. Okay, the marine engineering, like that. The nautical people, the crew. Okay, the ship crew in the middle of the sea. For example, the one who give food there, when you go to inside in the ship, they will entertain you. Where's the karaoke here? Where's the disco there? Where's the meal here? If you go to the cruise, C-R-U-I-S-E. Cruise job is related to marine or maritime. Shipyard is exclusive only to the fixed land, stationary, not moving. Airport, seaport. It's totally different from the within the sea. You get the point? So within the sea is the marine. Okay. Number 5 is the longshore job. Okay. Meaning away from the sea. Okay, like, diba? Number 6 is the gear certification industry. No? Gear sa mechanical engineering, right? Gear. G-E-A-R. Nasa na siya kagaling yung standards sa safety ka ng mga gear sa conveyor. Okay, I'm not a mechanical engineer, but this is all about like that. Sorry. You get the point? So there is also a specific part number standard declaration in OSHA for that. Okay, now we go now to the part number specific for that. Nakakaloka. O, diba? Now, for shipyard, kung saan na itong i-declare niya ng higayon na. Charot. Okay? So, muna siya ang 1915. Okay, 1915. Part number niya siya, guys, ha? If you see number like this, is part number of OSHA. Okay? So, there's no 1916. Take note. During your memorization, there's no 1916. Go directly to 1970, which is for the marine. Okay. Now, go to longshore employers for type of job. This is 1918. Okay. And then 1919 is for the gear certification for machineries and equipment. Mo-rotate siya. May mga gear. G-E-A-R. Okay, mga pulley, P-U-L-L-E-Y. Di ba na gear? Like that. The standard of that applicable is 1919 in OSHA standard. Okay. So na siya mga specific. 1910, general industry. 1926, construction industry. 1915, shipyard industry. 1917, marine industry. 1918, longshore employers or industries. 1919, gear certification industries. Okay. So, if you see like this, and there's attachment 29, CFR, 1919. Point 12. So meaning this is the standard of gear because it used the part number 1919. So this kind of safety requirements, you will not apply that in your general industry. You get the point because that is only for gear. You get the point? And for example, there's also 1917. And this all about 1917 about lifting there, blah, 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 so on. So, okay, lifting because lifting is common. Okay. What if that is not common? Standard. So 29 CFR 19 1917, gano'n, 112. So you cannot apply this to other industry because this is highly specific safety legislation and safety standard of OSHA regarding to the marine people, okay, the crew, the ship crew, the crew's job. They have also their safety there. In fact, the safety there is very important because if the boat will sink, problem. So how many will die? Massive. Okay, massive safety requirement. Okay, massive meaning a lot will die if there's an accident. It's totally different when you do welding. There's only one will weld. If there is a major accident, he will be the one who die. The other will not die. So that's why we will need to introduce a risk assessment program that based on the most important na dagan siyang mamatay. Okay. Di ba? Transportation safety in the main road. Because there's a lot will die on the bus. If that is going to be tilted on the road, vehicular accidents. How many people there? 10 people, 5 people, 4 people. Compared to who only do the cutting, only one, cutting of the metal. Right? Or the one who clean the dust, only one. He will be the one who injured compared to the massive. So our safety program with regards to that aspect will be strict, specific, measurable, and comprehensive. Ganon. We will need to meet the SMART requirements. Specific, measurable, ganon siya, di ba? Time-bound, ganon. Just remember that one. Reliable, achievable. Smart technique in engineering. Okay. Get the point. Specific, measurable, achievable, okay, measurable, reliable, and time-bound or time-specific. There will be a specific time to accomplish things like that. Okay, you get the point. That is smart technique. You get the point. So it's gonna be like that for this type of standards. Okay, mauna siya. Now, going back to the working at height mga palangga, kung hitad. Okay, working at height ng tanu. So, ato yung ihigay yun ang kamatuuran. Di ka magpataka o yaw-yaw na ato i-impose sa workers in which the particular safety requirement is not applicable to that legislation na nakakaloka, di ba? So, mura tagbuang ana, hindi ba? Ato ipuan. Sango. So, it came to the legal court nga. So, pataka lang kung sa mong safety standard. Okay, anak mo na siya, guys. Good. Okay, ang documentation. Wow. Okay, ganda point. Ganan. Okay. Now, so akong balikon siya, mga palangga akong hitad. So, sa general industry, mga palangga akong hitad, this is WAH. Actually, we mean of WAH, that is working at height. Sometimes we don't need to put the words all if we are already safety professionals. If we put capital W, capital A, capital H, that would mean working at height. Okay. Diba? Ganon. Okay. So, ako na siyang iyag-yag. Okay. So, ma-learn na mo siya dito. Nakita ng mga trainings, whatever. Ma-learn na din mo siya dito. Di man kayo sa audio, you will familiarize and learn that as you go through the process. Ganon. O, diba? Okay. Okay. Lain sa kayo, memorize mo, kasabot. O, diba? Okay. So, general industry. Laoy. Sama dyan yung general industry, makakaon bataan charot. Makakaon tagkuhan, binangkal, in fairness. Kaya saan ito akong kuhan rin? Kung nakakaon na bataan o binangkal o panbulika. Okay. Di ba guys? Kaya saan naman ito akong kuhan? Chart! Dara, ano ko may punto ka na itong tanan, nakita ka mga snacks, no? Kung saan ka itong snacks, inihigayon na, pan o juice. Nakakaloka. Init kayo na kuan, bitchu-bitchu o orange juice ang atong snacks karong alas 3 karong makuna. But before that, I will able to discuss the standards requirement of the vertical height or distance of working at height with regards to OSHA standards, safety legislation in working at height. Okay, now we have general industry. Okay, general industry, the height that is expressed in feet actually. This is 4 feet. Okay, like that. Okay, that. Construction industry, 6 feet. Like that. Okay. Shipyard industry, 5 feet. Like that. And longshore industry is 8 feet, mga ganon-ganon. Okay. Now, if you found that the industry is not mentioned, you will use the generic. Things like that. Where is applicable? Because the point, ana-ana siya mga kapatid kong itadha. Oh, di ba? And then the other one will be, abot mo na siya 10 feet siguro katong last. Muna ni siya ang longshore. Ganon-ganon. Okay? Imo na dyan lang siyang sakto mga palangga kong hitad. Oh, ganon. O, di ba? Mga palangga. Okay, sige. Again, ano na siya no? Nag-goes over ko guys. Makita na ko yung balik mo. Bago yung sila okay. 4 feet height for general industry that includes operations. Let's say, power plant. Okay, running plant. Okay, running company. Okay. For construction, 6 feet. Okay. For the shipyard, we have the 5 feet height. And for the longshore, we have the 8 feet. Now we will convert this to meters because we are popular in working above 1.8 meters. We need to use the harness. Is this in the general industry? Is this in the manufacturing? Or is it in the construction? Because sometimes also above 2 meters, we need to use the full body harness. Is this in the construction or is it in the manufacturing? So we need to be specific. But the generic here, as long as it is high, you need to wear the full body harness. I'm just stating also the clarity because there are sometimes also that the argument is not too high, it's not too low, and we cannot distinguish. The only way that is to measure. And this is the time this will be applicable. Get the point? Ganon. But in the real sense of the world, if that is really too high, then we don't think we go by the book that is specific. But sometimes when we're mga lalisunod na height, we need to argue because it's closer to 6 feet, it's closer also to 5 feet, ganon. So, kung gamiton ani, para mag-agree ka, muna siya time na nagamit siya. Okay, you got the point. Ganon. Kaya na may brag ka ng doldo oras sa 1.8, sa mani, uy, so kung gamiton na nga standard, uy, sa magkuhan na dyan ko ani, ganon. Nakakalaw ka, so, mawin na siya. Okay, but kung taas na dyan kayo siya, kung nagataginot tayo ng ani, okay, this is only an idea that there is a standard requirement for each industry. Di ba? Kaya safety professional, diyak ka. Okay, alam. Di ba dahil kayo pamilya mo, you don't know anything about this and you are a safety professional. Oh. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. Apart from its real objective also, in prevention of full accidents in working at height. Okay, ganon. Okay na. Ari na tayo yung ngayon na. Okay, i-convert na to ang feet. Review basic conversion factors in math. Elementary math. Grade school level math. Okay, so 1 feet, how many meters? Question mark. 10. Because your objective is to get in meters. What do you say? 1 meter, how many feet? Ganon. Diba? So in my memory retention, 1 feet is equals to 0.3048 meters. And memorize this in elementary until now. High school. 0.3048 meter is equal to 1 feet. Correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe my memory fails also. Okay, you get the point. Things like that. And 1 feet is equals to 12 inches. Like that. Tama ba siya, guys? 1 inch is equals to 2.54 centimeter. Tama ba? Okay. And then 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. Okay, 1 kilometer is equals to 1,000 meter. 1 feet is equals to, ito ba siya? 1 yard is equals to 3 feet. Okay, and then 1 mile is equals to 5,280 feet. This is my stock knowledge of elementary conversion factors with regards to distances and length measures. Okay. Now, it's there that you will play around the conversation without using the Google search, without using the internet. Okay? So, muna itong isang ujod ang tuta mamatay. Kani nga conversion lang yun to prove na engineer jud ka. Hindi mo siya kalimutan. Okay? Because this is very basic. If you cannot memorize this, some of it, then you are not engineer. Murag, 1 run. Oh, di ba? Okay, sige lang. Okay, 1 feet is equals to 0.3048 meter. 1 feet is equals to 12 inches. 1 inch is equals to 2.52 centimeter. 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. 1 kilometer doesn't matter. 1 yard is equals to 3 feet. 1 mile is equals to 5,030 feet. It's somewhere along the way that we will play around. Okay. Now, if I have 4 feet, so normally siya guys, kung elementary, sige lang. 4 feet. Okay, 4 feet, then 1 feet. Okay, so pila man na siya kakuan meter. In 1 feet, kuan man siya 30.048 meter. Calculator, please. Ayaw mo pagpalagay ng debate yun. Sa'yo na lang di kayo, hindi na dyan yung computer, kay lagi, engineering graduate mo. Ayun na yung mana. Okay. All starts with the basic and simplicity ba yan? Okay? Simplicity is beauty. Okay, not the complexity. If you try to complex yourself, then you have to do a lot of retalking. In your body, you need to increase your nose, you need to detox your liver, you need to remove the fats or liposuction in your stomach. So that is complexity already because you are not contented what God gave to you. But it depends on your purpose also. If your purpose is good, why not? Right? Okay? It depends. But what I'm trying to emphasize, simplicity is beauty. Without changing anything, then you are really beautiful. Oh, you are really handsome. You don't put anything in your face, but you're good looking. Things like this is natural and simplicity is beauty. Ganon. Okay. Sumasad ni siya. Simplicity is beauty for an engineer if you learn this because it's our simple. Simple conversions. Okay, you get the point. So it's gonna be like that. It's not complex. Okay, we are not having here the 1 pinch, how many quarts? 1 shemen, how many ohms? It's not like that because it's already complicated, right? Oh, so that's not the way it used to be. We should start from the basic. And we should teach our children. If we know the basics in math, do not defend, sorry, depend and defend is not the same. Do not depend on teachers in the classroom. You are the first teacher of your own son and your own daughter. Okay, that's the point. It doesn't mean you should teach moral lessons in life, how to save their life, how to treat them lives in case of sickness, in a little way of in saying. Okay, in a children type of saying. Okay, because they are not adult yet. What I'm trying to emphasize, you should teach them the right moral lessons in life, how to behave ethically in the society and in the community, how to protect their life from any harm, danger. If let's say, for example, if there are people who try to rape them, like that, how can have self-defense. So it should start from the parents of teaching that, because as they grow older, if they don't have an idea, because they are having minds that are too young, to the point so they need to learn something mismo directly from the parents. Later na ng teachers, because teachers have no obligation. Teachers are teaching because they are doing that as their part of their profession. But that is not running through their blood, that is not their children. Okay, so you should have the first full responsibility to educate your children in home, because home is the basic unit of the society. Tama ba? Basic unit of the society. That's what I remembered, right? Okay, it's gonna be like, tama ba yun? Okay, bahala na. So, ito ko na yun. Okay, so 0.3048 mga palangga kong hitad. 0.348 times Kung saan ito times na kayo na 4 o sige. Okay. Ang operations, mag-need lang, operations or manufacturing, if it is already 1.2 meters high, you need to wear the full body harness. It's not the same with the construction. Because the construction, at least 1.8 meters to 2 meters, right? And let's convert the 6 feet of the construction. If it is really 1.8 meter or 2 meters. Okay? So that we will not be arguing with each other. Because in generic, we will like, above 1.8 meters, tinood ba na? Sige, we need to prove here. So, 6 feet, ilan na siya meters? Ganon. Okay. So, para ito itong i-prove ito mga ipangyayaw sa safety officer kung sakto ba dito. Above 1.8 meters, yung pili-pili na siya. Diba? Okay, calculator please. Okay, this is working at height and this is very highly critical job, huh? Because you are at the top. Anything can happen there, problem. Okay, so 12, 30, 48, mga palaga. Kung hitad times 6 is equals to... Oh, this is it! This is for construction industry really, what they mean. Now, if we introduce specifically in our report, and we will mention numbers, okay, be careful. Because 1.8 meter is for construction industry, not for manufacturing. Manufacturing use 1.2 meters na talaga siya to wear full body harness. It's more strict than construction with regards to the specific number. Again, for the general industry or manufacturing industry or operational industry already, you need to wear the full body harness above 1.2 meters, plural or singular, and then 4 feet. In vertical height, okay, or height. Now, in construction industry or projects, what we mean is the buildings are not finished yet, like that, blah, 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 so and so. Okay, you need to wear full body harness above 1.8 meters high and 6 feet. Now, to make it safe, do not put numbers in your recommendation as a safety officer because it is arguable if you put numbers in your recommendation. Just put wear full body harness at height, kalas, because it's understood that it's already dangerous in working at height. Generally. But if you want to be specific, be sure that you are using the correct standard for that. Because that is subject for argumentation. Okay, that is arguable. You get the point? Meaning, it's subject to some agreements, whether you agree or not, whether you affirm or not, or you contradict or not, things like that. So don't use the number. But if you are really pretty sure and confident enough, because you put in your brain cells the specific numbering of the vertical height or the vertical distance in construction industry, then do it. Okay? 1.8 meter. Ganon. So, muna siya ang mga technique to make it safe, ha? In our reporting sa mga safety officer, entry-level things are also to safety professionals all over the world. Okay. Now, we go now to the shipyard requirement. For the shipyard requirement, if you try to erect a scaffold there, they will also wear full body harness above 5 feet. Also, okay? So, pinamasan yung 5 feet in meters. You have to convert the same thing that the way I did before. So, there's also a method. I am not interested with the shipyard because I'm working usually in the general industry, construction, manufacturing. I'm not in the shipyard. But you have already the specific, diba? In feet, you can convert the meters. So, this is no issue. Okay, then we have also here that long-short type of job. Then you need to have 8 feet. Okay, to wear the full body harness. But, this specific standard assumes that your work platform is not really safe. Okay? But, once your work platform is very, very, very safe, you don't have to follow 100% the full body harness wearing. But, again, subjective, but again, to save your life, it's better to follow both. Okay? Because you are protecting your life. It's regardless by the book. It's regardless by the documentation. It's regardless by the standard. To save your life doesn't need paper. You need to save your people to save your life because you need to follow this paper requirement. No, it's not. You need to save your life because you need to live in this planet Earth together with your family to be happy. And documentation is not attached there to save your life, but practical reasoning. That's why you need to follow both the complete work platform, scalpel platform, plus full body harness wearing, regardless how high is that. If your main purpose only is to save your life, and that's very clear. There's no tantamount specifications for that or legal legislation for that. That is only for documentation or whatever, or reporting, blah, 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 so and so. For the management job, like that, blah, 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 accident reporting, blah, blah. But if your purpose only is to save your life, then follow both. That is your life. There's no other life. That is your life. So don't let others to control you. Control your life, even though nobody telling you, then do it. Things like that. Okay? You have only one life. Why you entrust your life to anybody else? Okay? That's very clear, right? Save your life first by following both safe working platform and full body harness. Oh, diba? Way laban sa ulo. Dito ba so, 6 feet, 5 feet. Nakakalukan. Awit ko pala kabuok. Pila kataskon. Buang lay ko. Maglalis ka. Kasi kuan. Kasi bright. Kasi dili. Ay na. Naginuta ba sa mga walang katanan. Muna na siya. Safe na ka na. Diba? Ganon. Ganon ang mentality. If you want to be safe. Okay, no tantamount paper. Regardless of paper and anything, you have to follow really your own safety requirement. Oh, ganon. To protect your own life. Okay, they cannot save you. Only your life can save you. Okay? Diba? Masali pa rin po safety officer. Yung nakinabuhi, kasi kalabutan lang kasi yung kinabuhi. O diba? We don't have the same lungs. We don't have the same digestive system. Okay? So this is a philosophical statement. Okay, but we have the direct responsibility to help others also. But what I'm trying to emphasize, if the situation calls for, you need to save your life first. For example, if your foreman and supervisor is very hard-headed, okay, and then there's a chance you will fall there, you will follow your foreman and you will be in trouble. That's what I mean, that you don't have the same digestive system, you don't have the same lungs, you don't follow your foreman. Protect your life first, of course. Diba? What money after all if you die? If you're injured. O diba? Ganun mga mind-state dapat, no? O diba? That's why the saying goes, safety is the first priority. Because you are dealing with life. Okay? Just like the profession of being a health professional, a doctor, a nurse. So, we are also part of the top 3 noblest profession on the planet Earth. Okay? The first is the teacher. Teacher profession is the noblest profession. Second is the health and professional. Third is the safety professional. Because we have one thing in common. We need to protect the people from injury, and we need to save the life of the person. Okay, just like the doctor, okay, nurse, and the teacher is overall. They are really the noblest profession of all. Okay, muna siya top 3 noblest profession in the planet Earth. Okay, teacher, health and medical professionals, and the safety professionals. Because nakataya sa mga ang life. Ang tao, ang kinabuhi, is not all about the products. It's easy to rectify the defects. You can rectify the defects of if somebody will die, you can have another life. No, it's not, right? So that's only difference from other possessions. Okay. So wala siya nga. Safety is the first priority because of LIFE, life. Okay, you get the point. Ganon. Now, I will teach you also now, because we're now differentiating the category of how high is that, to wear that one, like that. Now, we need to be specific now. What are the requirements in working? Ay, mga safety level, safety officers, paminaw, dyan mo ha. Okay, because muna atong paano dyan, ato na dyan yung tinudon. Okay, in the training, di ba tinudon sa training, kuhaan, wala taraw ka na ilaha. Okay? Sa ato may tunod karon. Okay. Now, kakuyo, ang hirap kumita ng pera. Okay? Now. And now the time is near, so I face the final curtain. Ganon. So we have W-H. W-A-H, working on type. Okay, mga palangga kong hitad. No. Okay. Guys, if you are very weak in memorization, so the best way to do that is to taking down notes or jot down the information. Okay? But to those people who are also have a very fast capture of the, of the learning, then all you have to do also is to go to the complicated part and write it. Because there are also people, once it's being discussed, it will already be registered in their brain cells. And there are also people also that it needs them to repeat it again in order to register in their brain cells. So it depends on the type of the person, because God gave us leveling of our mental capability. It's not the same. Okay? So that's why being an instructor and a professor, we need to extract the average, not on the people who are very genius. Because how about the other who are cannot understand very well, weak IQ? So they cannot understand well, and you are a teacher for all baya, okay? Not for 3, for 4, for 5 that are excellent in their academic performance. You need to extract the overall performance academically of your students. So you need to discuss average way of discussing, not more on the complex. And then you have to explain very well that it's gonna be like that, ganon, okay? So that in fairness, if they can also understand the weak learners. You get the point? Because the fast learners are already fast. Then why you focus to them and you make it difficult your questions, then the weak learners cannot have good scores. And they're also paying money with you. Diba? The parents will be crying, their grades are very low compared to the fast learners. You need to be balanced, right? You get the point? Do not put too much complex in your questions. Do not be happy that nobody can answer that question. Okay? Because you are a very intelligent instructor. Not like that, We should change our mentality when we are a mentors or instructors. We need to extract the majority of the academic potential of your students, not the fast learners. Di ba kaluoy naman po no kung nahihina jud kay mabiyaan jud siya kalmi. So okay, we should discuss in a manner that the majority can understand properly. Not to those only who are smart or have a higher IQ. Ganon dapat. So ito mo jud ganon dapat. Okay. Kamalita din o ganon jud. O di ba? Kay noblest profession man ka ta. Okay nya mamili ka day mo. Nakakaloka. It should be for all. Equality and fairness is very important to being a teacher. Okay. You should not discriminate. Okay, W-E-H. Nakakaloka, So, ano ni siya, guys? We have, di ba atong standard ng hinigay na kayo? Kung ano to, general construction, kaya kung ano to siya. Okay, ang general construction is ano? 0.28, ano siya? 29 CFR 1910.28. Ang construction 29 CFR 1926-501. Layo na kayo siya, guys. Ang yung standard. But the same, working at height. Okay? Ganon. Now, here, generally siya sa both standards. Okay, in working at height. So the first requirement really, if you cannot modify your work, instead of doing at the top, you will do that in downside to eliminate the rest and the hazards. This is the first thing to do. How about doing that in the ground level so that our people cannot be safe? But there are times that cannot be done in the ground level. They will stay at the top. Okay? So that's why these standards arrived. Okay? Because they cannot do it in the ground level. They have to stay there at the top. Okay. So, you need to maintain a safe and adequate work platform. English. Okay. Safe and adequate. What's the distinction or the difference? When we mean of adequate, that's talking the parts by parts that are missing. Because this also tantamount or the same or parallel to sufficient or let's say complete like that. If somebody are missing, so that is inadequate, insufficient like that. Safe is another adjective. It's more on the impact of the people when this is not implemented, when this is not installed, when this is not put. So this is the safe. So I'm saying safe and adequate. Okay, so meaning two adjectives describing your work platform. It's not enough to say adequate only because there are also adequate parts that still unsafe to use. Right. So it would be better to say in using your descriptions, you will say safe and adequate work platform. Okay. Like that. Because okay, complete but using some standards. So it's not good. So that's why you need to put safe. Okay. But if you want to make it more really ideal meaning to say perfection, you need to say safe, adequate, and proper work platform. Proper. Okay. Meaning it's in good order. Okay? Because some scaffolders try to modify but still safe to use. Right? But it doesn't follow the requirements in OSHA. But still, due to the legal compliance, you have to re-erect that one because we are following the standards, even though that's still safe to use. Okay? That's why you need to say safe, adequate, and proper work platform. Meaning, it is organizedly following the standards parts by parts. No bypassing of one system. You did not put there like this because it's already safe to consider. This issue for construction and even for the manufacturing, they will just follow this adequate. As long as it is adequate, the parts are complete, it's enough. Even though that's not safe. Even though that is not proper. If it is not proper, that's the time you will not follow the standard. As long as it's safe by practical approach. Safe to use, but not proper because that is not the way how it is being done. You get the point? Okay, for example, I have a knife. A knife is exclusive only for the fruits like this. And you use the axe to do the fruit like that. And it's too big for that, right? But still, it can produce the same output to cut the fruit. Okay. So, it's still adequate. It's still safe, but it's not proper. Because this axe is not for the fruit. This is for the tree. You need to cut the tree. You get the point? So that's what we mean of proper here. Meaning applicability, suitability, or fit to the purpose or design intent of the particular structure, object, material, resources, equipment, or whatever. Things like that. Again, fit to purpose, applicable to its design intent, things like that. Okay, so this is more on the proper thing. Okay, but it doesn't mean that it's also proper, it's already safe automatically. Okay, that's why to make it safe and to make it perfect in your suggestion and recommendation, basing on how articulate you are as a safety professional, you need to put the three adjectives referring to the type of work platform you have or you recommended. You should say safe, adequate, and proper work platform must be erected. And I thank you. Ganon dapat. O, diba? Parang perfect na siya. Una na siya yung mga kulang-kulang o substandard. Di, improper. Pinaputang siya dili sa kuan. Because there are substandards also that's still safe based on the safe working load for that. Okay? There are things a lot in the construction or in the field that's still safe but not proper. Okay? You get the point? So it's gonna be like that. That's why they usually landed with this, adequate only. Okay, but sometimes not adequate, not safe pa, not proper, and that is the time safety will be angry. Because it's not safe, it's not adequate, it's not proper pa. Okay, so meaning to say, when it will come to the report by the safety, it's these three adjectives already evaluated. You get the point? And it's not also all the time to be bookish that this three will be there. It should be adjusted as long as the risks are minimal. Things like that. And then you know what I mean, right? You should also so you have risk assessment to rank the risk. Low, medium, and high. Things that as long as it is a low minimal, especially if it is alert, technical term in OSH. Alert meaning as low as reasonably practicable. You don't have to stop the job if it is as low as reasonably practicable. That is easy to correct later on. Especially if the job is very urgent, you need to force them to do that, and that's very minimal. So things like that, you have to use your brain cells. It doesn't mean that you are the safety officer, you will be followed every time. You need to adjust the situation based on the actual scenario. Okay, the people, the environment, the machine. This is how to be professional. It doesn't mean that you are the safety officer. Follow me, follow me, follow me. It's not like that. That's not good. Okay, you don't have to project like that as a safety officer. You need to balance the equation. Just like the overall material balance in unit operations. What comes in, goes out. If there's no recovery at all. Okay, if the state of dynamic equilibrium is perfect, meaning the rate of chemical reaction in your input is always equal to the rate of the chemical reaction in your output, assuming your products are chemicals. Get the point? Things like that. So you need to be like that, okay? Balancing the equation. Not literal, meaning balancing of things. It's just the same with balancing of equation. Right? Ganon. So in the reporting scheme or procedure making, you go to the maximum leveling. You say safe, adequate, and proper work platform. Take documentation man. Okay, if you go to the documentation, you go to the superlative or to the maximum to make it safe. Okay? But for the actual scenario, badlong ka dito, pagkuhan, did you come go to the maximum? Go ka sa maximum, pero if they will never listen, you will go adjust a little bit, and then you communicate properly, things like that. You know what I mean, right? And as long as you deliver the message clearly. Because if they will die, they will die. I'm not dying, you are dying. Things like that, okay? If you are injured, I'm not the one who will be injured, you are the one who will be injured. So if you listen to me, good. If not, who cares? Ganon. As long as I did my job. Okay. I am paid for my job, I'm not paid for you. I'm not paid to take care of you, I'm paid to do my job in order for you to be safe. Things like that, okay? Ganon ang mindset, ha? Ganon. It's always mindset every time. That's why you need to take care of your mental health. Because if you will not take care of your mental health, oh my gosh, it's too much depression, and it will lead you to commit suicidal if you have so many problems in life. Okay? So mental health good siya, guys. Number one, sure po anak. Charot. Because the physical state of your body will just follow. If your mental state of mind will be in good shape, the way you think, the way you perceive things, the way you understand, okay? Things like this, okay? Nakakaloka, pati values education. Ako po yung ikuan. O, diba? Nakakaloka. Okay. Number two, provision of the safe working platform, adequate platform, and proper platform. Muna siya, guys, ang atong primary fall protection system. Okay. Primary fall protection system. Okay. Now, ang atong secondary full protection system is the provision of the personal fall protection system. Personal fall protections, acronyming. Okay, so that we will never lose during our memorization. Okay, personal fall, okay, protection system, PFPS. So always put personal because this is dealing with individuality of that person. Personal. Okay? I'm not saying personnel. Personal is not the same with personal. Again, personal, Okay? Fall protection system, not personnel. Okay? You get the point? Just like PPE. Personal protective equipment. It's not personnel protective equipment. Be careful also when you put the, as long as it is letter P, you also put like that. Okay? So be careful in taking down your acronym. Okay? Now, your secondary fall protection system is personal fall protection system. Okay? PFPS. And what are the examples to this? Okay, we have personal fall arrest system. Take note the difference between PFPS and FAS. It's in the third letter, okay, that is only different. During your memorization, you say PFAS, PFES, and PFOK. Ganon. And you know, PFES is the only component of the PFPS. You will talk to your mind during studying. Not necessarily you will voice out. Kaya mura kag buang, manugan ka sa yung mama, yung papa. You will just, mo ng mind, you will talk on your mind, like that, during your studying moment. So, studying moment, okay, it's gonna be like that, okay? So, personal for arrest system is an example of personal fall protection system under secondary full protection system. What is the purpose of personal fall arrest system? Okay, take the verb, the action verb of your acronym. So it's gonna be the arrest. So to arrest the personnel from falling to the ground. I don't memorize the definition in the book or in the notes or in the training center, but if you try to scrutinize the letters, you can create your own definition. You get the point? If you understand, right? See, is to arrest the worker or the personnel, okay, working at night, to fall against the ground or from the ground. Because against and from is just the same. That is preposition. Against and from. But from referring to location. From location or person. Okay, location means from point E to point B. And from also with person, you write a letter. Okay, from June to Ida. So that in terms of person. Like that, okay? But also location from to, like that. So that's also preposition. Okay, that is a word put prior, okay, to the sentence. Before, after, like that. You get the point? From to. Oh, ganon. So from falling to the ground. Oh, ganon. You get the point? So meaning from away. Okay? You get the point. Ayun, magamit og to. Kaya mayabong ka English. Sayop na siya. From falling to the ground. Full na siya sa ground. Kaya to man yung gigamit. Okay, anak ka no? Arrest the person is to arrest the personnel against falling to the ground. Okay? You should from the ground. Away man siya. You get the point? Away from the ground. Pwede ito ma-fold ito. I-away mo siya sa ground. Not to. Kung ito ni mo, padong juga dito. Kaya ito may magigamit. Destination, departure, arrival. Di ba? Arrival to. Departure from. Alam nga yung to ang arrival. Hindi siya pwede. Maura sa siya ang pasabot-an niya. Okay? So, nakakaloka. Spoon feeding. Personal fall arrest system is to arrest the worker from falling against the ground. Okay? Against na lang para may lubog. Okay? Get the point? Ana. Pumaro na, ikaray maghimo niyo as long as nakasagot lang sa grammar, naman na siya. Okay? You get the point? Basta ang importante yung action verb is arrest. Is to arrest. Why arrest? Because you use the full body harness with shock absorber. Now, you will never use the term, because this is PPS, this is specific, guys. Okay, you will never say, is to prevent the worker from falling to the ground. You will never use prevent, because prevent is general. There's a lot of ways how to prevent, not necessarily to wear the full body harness. Right? But this is referring to wear the full body harness because the full body harness has a shock absorber, not the same with others. So arrest talaga ang purpose niya. If you say PFES, not to prevent, okay, or not to protect. If you say PFPS, you can use the prevent and protect because here in the PFPS, this is general. You can still use full body harness, you can use the decelerator devices, the lifelines and the anchorage points, like there's a lot of things to do in order not to fall. But PFES is specific really to wearing full body harness. That's why the definition will always include arrest in the sentence. You get the point? But it depends on the checker and the examination because we are just human beings. Maybe you will put 2 points, 3 points, but the technicalities, they will give you more points if you pattern really the definition with putting arrest if this is an examination. But if this is an examination for the purpose of discussion, I'm just telling you, it's gonna be like that. To the point, ganon. So, personal for our system, wearing of full body harness. And then, in PFPS have the anchorage. Okay. Meaning, there must be an anchorage points where to hook your, the buckle of your full body harness. Because if there's no anchorage point, there's no purpose of wearing the full body harness. It's just like articulation. So you haven't met the purpose. You failed to meet the purpose, the same as you will never wear that also. Okay, just for the purpose that the safety officer will say, you're wearing full body harness, but there's no anchorage point. Sometimes you will use your brain cells also. Okay, if you wear the full body harness, make sure you can hook there. If you cannot hook there, then that's useless at all. Even though you are wearing the full body harness, just for the sake of telling people that you are following the safety requirement. No, it's absolutely not. You get the point? Na siya. So, check the anchorage points. Okay? And check the lifeline. Okay? Like that. And other, let's say, deceleration devices in going down, going up. Like that. Kasi decelerate in going down. Right? And then also the travel restraint system. Travel, meaning horizontal or vertical, and that is really the total package of your full protection system. You can buy that in the market. Okay? And automatically, will go down, will go up. That is travel restraint system. That is more advanced. Okay? You get the point. And then you have the lifelines. Lifelines must be there. It could either be, the lifelines is referring to the rope. Okay, the horizontal wide rope that you will put when you access point A to point B. Because if, for example, in the rooftop, all are open, and that is vertical horizontal. If there's no horizontal level, you will fall. Right? So that's lifeline there means horizontal wire rope or vertical wire rope. Okay? It depends on the situation of your area. If you need a vertical wire rope, or if you need also a horizontal wire rope. But you should have the anchorage points already. Where to hook. Okay? And then your full body harness also meet the requirement. It should be the full body harness. Okay? Meaning the complete package with shock absorber. That's why you need to arrest from the fall. Okay, get the point? Things like that. And then you are not allowed to use the safety belt because the safety belt is being banned in 1990. 1990. This is the law established by OSHA. Starting from 1990 all over the world, especially if they try to use this as their guidance safety requirement, meaning not mandatory, guidance only all over the world. Okay, 1990, nobody's allowed to wear the safety belt, only the full body harness. But if there's still Alibaba, we know that, so it depends now already to the country where it happens. It's not the mistake of the OSHA because they introduced already the safety guidelines and it's not my fault where you did not follow. As I told you, safety guidance and guideline only, meaning to say not mandatory. Okay, because this is not inside the American territory. But if it is inside, then automatically will penalize, cease the operation, close the company. Okay, but if you are in the Middle East, it's not like that. It's not compulsory. It's only a safety guidance, a safety guidance. That's why some companies have no registration of safety. The certificate is not certified yet. Because this is the main reason also that OSHA say it's a guideline and guidance only. Okay, it's up to the country of origin to make it strictly the enforcement of the locality safety requirements and legislation as per the country. Okay, it really happens there. Okay, ganon siya. Now, if the government are not really good in auditing purpose or, not really competent, what happens? A lot will Alibaba. Okay? Because the government is did not do their assignment. Okay. So muna nang hitabo, ang safety department is just only for the sake of compliance or formality. Just only to save the people, to protect from harm, to protect the properties, to avoid losses because that is company expenses if they will not be prevented. But in terms of legal legislations and requirements, it has not been met. That's the main reason they are not certified to safety. There's no certification in safety. Okay, because if it is really a requirement, then you have to get the certification which, just like the quality, ISO 9001, ISO 14000. But if there's a company who doesn't have this, so it could either be Alibaba or they are having their internal arrangement only. Okay, internal. Okay, like that. Because they are very, very complacent. Complacent meaning they're very, very confident that there's no government auditor that will check their company through the records like that, and they are taking for granted things like that. Okay, that's why they don't have certification in safety, only quality. And they don't have also certification in environment, only quality. So it depends on the industries you are working now. Okay, but since this is highly management, so you don't have the right to fight with the employer and the manager. You should go by the law. As long as you are working, being on your position. You get the point? Because you have certain leveling to follow. Okay? You get the point? So you just like a current of a water. If there's too much current and going to the east, you should go also to the east. As long as you perform mainly your duties well, by heart, and by sincerity, because you are paid by that, things like that. Because you cannot do against with the management or else go away from the management. You will find another job. That's the only solution. If you will never go to the flow, you will find another job for you. You get the point? You need to resign and go for another job. But if you still want to be on that company, then follow the flow of the current. Laminar flow, right? In Bernoulli equation, in flow dynamic, flow and flow. That's gonna be unit operations 1. Okay, it's gonna be like that fluid mechanics or fluid flow or momentum transfer. You get the point? Ito mga Bernoulli theory equation. Diba? Nakakaloka, viscosity, laminar flow, mga eddies, gano'n, turbulent flow. Okay, ato na siya dito sa mga flow and flow discussion sa momentum transfer. Okay? Kita mo yung sagot na kaya pang chemical engineering na siya, guys. Okay? Ano siya? So, ang question na ako, kung naatay heat transfer, momentum transfer, okay, and mass transfer, can we transfer our heart? Heart transfer. Yes, by having transplant. Heart transplant. Especially if you have, atherosclerosis. Okay, the disease of your left artery, the hardening of your artery, heart disease, okay? That is atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. Nakakaloka, diba? Okay, cardiovascular diseases. Cardio, kay Hartman, cardio. Right? Pulmonary is lung. Okay, but cardio is heart. Right? Ganun siya. Di ba mga nakakaloka ba talaga itong hitan? Okay. Nakuha na niyo akong discussion, no? Mora to siya, guys. Ang akong explanation sa mga kuan. Okay. So, ano to, no? Work platform, and then the secondary, like that. Okay? So, mo ginatong timanan sa working at height, ha? Ang duha niya, natin mga components dito. Mo na to siya. Okay, so, pwede na ka mag-safety officer, so, mo na to ipasok sa brain cells. Okay? Okay, but the certificates are also necessary. But, you know, try to take the basic one. Okay, pwede na siya. Okay. Ganon. Thank you so much for listening for this OSS vlog with regards to International Safety Standard. I hope you like it and you can comment down below in the comment section. You can also hit the notification bell and you can subscribe my wifey channel if you haven't yet subscribing. Okay, and I'll be happy and very, very grateful if you can do that for me. Okay, stay safe. God bless everybody. See you later for my another vlog. Okay, the discussion between the OSHA standards again. Last na siya sa OSHA standards, guys. Okay, I need to teach you something, the technicalities of safety legislation. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. I hope you like it. Okay. Bye-bye. Nakakaloka.